Honourable Rodney Hyde.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to support the Environment Canterbury Temporary Commissioners and Improved Water Management Bill. Mr Speaker, local government plays a vital role in advancing the well-being of New Zealanders and New Zealand communities. Effective local government provides communities with a say about their resources and the decisions that affect their well-being now and in the future. A central tenet of our system of local government is the autonomy of local authorities from central government. Locally elected representatives who are accountable to their communities rather than to the government make decisions in the interests of local citizens and their ratepayers. As Minister of Local Government, I have an important role to play in promoting an effective, efficient and democratic system of local government. This includes leadership on issues where central government's engagement and action is needed to achieve local outcomes. Central government's ability to intervene in the decisions and the workings of individual councils should be, and indeed is, very limited. Such powers may only be used in specific and extraordinary circumstances where the risk to the well-being of local citizens justifies overriding local accountability. Mr Speaker, it has come to the attention of the Minister for the Environment and myself that such extraordinary circumstances now exist in Environment Canterbury. Let me explain. In September 2009, all the mayors from Canterbury's region wrote to me outlining serious concerns with the performance of ECAN. This, Mr Speaker, is unprecedented and denotes a serious breakdown in the region's local governance relationships. This evidence, along with that of ECAN's poor performance in undertaking its responsibilities under the Resource Management Act, provided compelling reasons for the Minister for the Environment and me to commission a formal review into ECAN's performance. As the Minister for the Environment has outlined, the report identified major capacity issues with ECAN, including their inability to deliver a robust, clear and effective framework for the management of Canterbury's natural resources. Most striking was the review's conclusion that there is, quote, an enormous and unprecedented gap between what needs to be done to effectively manage Canterbury's fresh water and what ECAN has actually been doing. A recommendation of the review was that the existing council should be replaced by a temporary commission as soon as possible. The Ministry for the Environment and I met with the Canterbury mayors and the chief executives, Ngā Tahu and other key stakeholders to listen to their views about the report's findings. We also considered a number of written submissions from interested parties. We found that the region's stakeholders were generally united in their opinion that central government intervention is temporarily necessary to improve the performance of ECAN. We also actually met not just the mayors but every council in the region who were unanimous in their view. Drawing particularly on the report's recommendations and the views of Canterbury stakeholders, the Government has concluded that immediate action is needed to address the failure of ECAN's elected council, particularly in relation to freshwater management. The Government has considered a range of options for responding to this issue. We have decided that the replacement of ECAN's councillors with commissioners is the best course of action to ensure that 1. Canterbury's natural resources are managed in a comprehensive and holistic manner. 2. The framework for managing natural resources in Canterbury is integrated, effective, transparent and supports robust decision making. And 3. The institutional arrangements are in place to support effectively ECAN's planning framework. It's drastic but necessary move to replace ECAN's democratically elected council so the well-being of the Canterbury region is ensured. As Canterbury's natural resources, particularly fresh water, are nationally significant, this decision is also in the interests of all New Zealanders. I can assure the House that this decision has not been taken lightly, as I'm naturally reluctant to intervene in the affairs of local government. As a governing body of ECAN, the Commissioners will exercise all functions, responsibilities, duties and powers under the Local Government Act, the Resource Management Act and any other legislation. They will be accountable to the people of Canterbury and will be expected to engage with the community on significant issues. Existing public consultation and participation requirements will remain in place. Getting an effective relationship re-established with the region's mayors and local authorities is essential to restore confidence in ECAN. The Commissioners will therefore be tasked with improving ECAN's working relationships with the Canterbury's territorial authorities, as the bill requires the Commissioners to seek advice from Canterbury mayors on local issues that affect ECAN. The Commissioners will step in to provide the necessary and temporary governance and leadership needed to get ECAN working effectively. This is important so they can deliver effective services for the people of Canterbury. They'll be tasked with finalising and implementing an operative natural resources regional plan, solving issues with freshwater management and making institutional adjustments to ensure ECAN can better manage its responsibilities. As outlined by the Minister for the Environment, the bill provides the Commissioners with additional powers to help them address the region's issues with speed and with expediency. The appointment of the Commissioners is the responsibility of the Minister of the Environment and me. We are aware that the Commissioner's task will not be easy. That's why we'll only be considering people of the highest calibre for this challenging and nationally significant role. Naturally, one of the key criteria for selection of Commissioners is knowledge of and expertise in local authority governance and management. Mr. Speaker, I wish to highlight the fact that this bill provides for the necessary but temporary replacement of ECAN's elected council in order to get the organisation back on track. That's in the interests of everyone in this House, all the people of Canterbury and all the people of New Zealand. The planned local government elections in October will be deferred until the Commissioners have carried out their task, which will be no later than the next local authority elections on October 2013. At this time, new councillors will be elected to govern a far more effective organisation. That remains a priority for the government, and we're committed to them operating in the usual democratic manner. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House, and I say to members opposite who want to attack this government for political reasons, yes, by all means hold us robustly to account, but do consider the mess that is ECANS and the difficulty that ECANS has confronted, and indeed what it means to have 10 mayors and 10 councils actually saying that they have a dysfunctional local government structure in Canterbury. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.